Let's say next presenter. I ask Sepehr, Dehkordi to come here forward and give your speech. Can you first tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and maybe a little bit about the presentation that we are going to see?
Sure. Hi, I'm Sepehr Dehkordi. I'm from Iran and I'm studying architecture, Oulu School of Architecture. And I'm doing my master's here. And the presentation I have made for you is like mostly about somehow the evaluation of my studies and personal life in a very short way, in a comic way, and well, I hope that you enjoy it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, and I'll let you start. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, first I was thinking what I'm gonna talk about this in PechaKucha, and I thought that the only thing that I'm able to talk about it is kind of my architecture, because 8 years ago when I started to study architecture, it was just all the time it was architecture and architecture and architecture. That photo is my school in my hometown, and well, my dad in the very beginning he didn't want to me study architecture because my sister was an architect, and then he said that we don't need two persons in family to become architects, and then that building is one of the old edifices in Iran, and then we had this excursion there, and then I found this animal there, and then we used to go there and then make sketches of these buildings, and somehow like that, a sketch that you see that it's so common. And this is the maps of Iran in different, in 3,000 years ago, 1,000 years ago, and 500 years ago, and then now, and then the architecture and the urban design of each, that they did have their own each architecture. I was thinking what I'm supposed to design with such history in this country, and well, you can't just skip the history and then just start doing something without any background, and then well, if I was a student yet, I mean I'm a student yet, but still. Then there were some architects that they had combined the historical architecture with the very modern way. As you see in the photos, there are some similarities. But the language is same, but they're not exactly, the shapes are not exactly being used. And yeah, well, history shouldn't be repeating. It's like, we can't just like repeat the history and then repeat the shapes in buildings, and then we should stop someday. But at least we have to be aware that we can't just be irrespectful about our history. This is one of my projects that I've done. It's like, it was my bachelor thesis, and the site is so valuable historically, and then I was supposed to bring this area back to life. And I suggested those white canopies in between those historical buildings. Well, I graduated in my bachelor, and I was thinking what I'm supposed to do now. I decided to go abroad, or come abroad. Well, I'm here now, but yeah. And yes, that one is my hometown. Actually, honestly, the scale of my hometown is not very much different from Oulu in comparison with Helsinki, the capital. And there are some similarities, even though the culture and the tradition and then everything is maybe different. This is our school here. And well, when I first arrived in Vantaa airport, and I thought, nice. And well, as you see that I'm totally cool with coldness. I'm not somehow criticizing it. These are some new architectures of my today architecture, so up to date. And there were some traditional edifices being used, but they are so modern, but there are some respect in in the buildings that they're respecting to the background and in the context. And then I can't cook. I hate ride a bike. And well, and I hate myself as because I studied semiology and phenomenology for 2 projects of mine, but I still can't get attached to something cultural. And I know this is my problem, but well, this is one of the last projects that I've done. It was a competition. I was thinking that it's brilliant, but I couldn't get any awards or any honor. But the fact is, when I faced this fact and I realized that, well, I have to start thinking of getting attached to. I started to cook, even though I hated it. And then I realized, so I can't cook, so I can't get attached to cultural contexts and historical values. And, well, not exactly historical values, I don't mean that historically, but to context and then something behind. I found this building in a very far away village in Iran, and I started to study on it, and then I made contract with a tourism organization, and then I was proud of it because this building was left behind, and I found it and then made a presentation for it. Well, I'm always cynical and pessimist, and then I see things black and white, but sometimes I have this flexibility. It's not all the time, and I decided to change this photo outline, and then it's because it's scaring people. This is one of the projects that I won. It was an American competition, and well, I'm supposed that Americans are much more. Well, I'm not telling that open, but they do risks, and well, these are my favorite actors and actresses. Woody Allen is a genius. Meryl Streep is just humor. She's just amazing. Sandra Bullock, she's just amazing. And Eva Green, she's so classy. And Robert Downey Jr., he's so smart. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sepehr. Somebody has some questions, or maybe later? Okay, let's take it questions then, and when we have the pause. Okei, tässä aiheet ja paikat poukkoilevat sinne ja tänne. Tässä on ollut Satatekoa. Oulusta on ollut puhetta yleisistä saunoista. Sitten ollaan ollut iranilaisessa modernissa arkkitehtuurissa. Mutta joka tapauksessa nyt ehkä voi käyttää tämmöisen puheenvuoron, että nyt seuraa jälleen kerran jotakin aivan toista.